After that first meeting, things between us just naturally continued. We kept talking, we kept meeting. What started as reconnecting with a lost friend slowly became something that felt like a regular part of my life again. Dinah was my company, my person to call, my person to visit, and I was hers. Her husband was never around. Always traveling, always on some business trip somewhere. So it was just Dinah, in that beautiful duplex, with her friends slowly fading away one by one for reasons I didn't fully understand yet. And, me. Always. Me.
I started noticing things. Small things. At first, the way she would go quiet suddenly in the middle of a conversation. The way certain topics would make her eyes shift. The way she laughed a little too quickly sometimes, like she was trying to cover something underneath the surface. Something was not right. I could feel it the way you feel a change in weather before it actually arrives. Not loud, not obvious, just there. A quiet heaviness she was carrying around that she did not want me to see. I noticed it over weeks, over many days of conversations and visits. But I never pushed. I waited. Because I knew Dinah. She was the type of person who would rather carry something alone until it crushed her than let someone see her struggling. She always had been. Even back in primary school, she kept things close to her chest. She would rather die. She would rather die in her emotions than spill them out. But something was coming. I could feel it building.
It started like any other visit. We were talking the way we always talked, moving from one topic to the next naturally, laughing at some things, getting serious at others. The kind of conversation that flows so easily. You forget how much time is passing, and then something came up. I cannot tell you exactly how we got there. Conversations have their own way of going where they need to go, but we went deep, deeper than usual, and somewhere in the middle of it all, the topic of her husband came up, and everything changed. I watched something shift in her face, like a door she had been holding shut for a very long time, was suddenly being pushed open from the inside. She couldn't bear it anymore.
She started crying. Not slowly, not politely. She just broke, the way a person breaks when they have been holding something for too long, and their arms finally give out. I asked her what was wrong. She said nothing. I asked again. Gently, the way you ask someone you genuinely care about. Not pushing, just opening a door and letting them decide whether to walk through it. She said nothing. So I moved closer to her. I didn't say anything. I just placed her head on my shoulder and held her there. Let her cry without asking her to explain it. Let her feel like she was not alone in whatever it was she was carrying. And slowly, she started to talk.
What she told me that day, I was not prepared for. The marriage had started well. She made that clear. The first 2 years were good, minus he was attentive. He was present. He was the man she thought she had chosen wisely. And then something changed. He started drinking, coming home drunk, coming home late, coming home with the smell of other women on him and the audacity to look her in the eye like nothing was wrong. First, it was the cheating. Her friends minus the few she had left minus had caught him. Videos, hotels. Other women. They showed her. They tried to help her, confront him. And that is when the beatings started. Every time she tried to stand up for herself. Every time she found her voice. Every time she tried to be a woman who deserved better, minus he made sure she paid for it.
He compared her to other women. Told her she was not enough. That her opinions did not matter. That she should be grateful for what she had. He took away her voice so slowly and so methodically that by the time she realized what was happening, she had almost forgotten she ever had one. And then, her friends, the ones who tried to help her minus he went after them too. His wealth gave him influence. His influence gave him power. He used both to chase every person who could have helped her out of her life, one by one, until there was nobody left. Nobody but me. This is incredibly powerful and deeply emotional. I have everything I need to write part 5, the details that stand out the most. The way she broke down crying and couldn't hold it anymore. You pulling her close and placing her head on your shoulder. The miscarriage from the beating at 2 months pregnant.
And then she told me the one thing that broke something inside me completely. She had been pregnant 2 months. A life growing quietly inside her. Something that should have been protected above everything else. He came home one night, drunk. She had not opened the gate fast enough for him. He beat her while she was 2 months pregnant. He beat her. She lost the baby. And then Minus, as if what he had done was not enough, Minus, he turned around and called her barren. Told people she could not carry a child. Used the very wound he had created to humiliate her further. I could not speak. I could not speak. I sat there beside her, minus her head still on my shoulder, her tears still falling, minus, and I could not find a single word, because there are some things you hear that go beyond words, that bypass everything and land somewhere so deep inside you that all you can do is feel the weight of them. I was angry, not the loud, explosive kind of angry. The quiet, burning kind. The kind that sits still in your chest and does not make noise, but does not go away either. I kept my composure for her because she needed stability in that moment. Mine is not someone else falling apart beside her, but inside me. Everything was heavy. When she finally stopped crying, I asked her why she never told anyone. Not her family. Not her remaining friends. Nobody. She said she was afraid. His wealth, his influence, the way he had made the police disappear every time someone tried to stand up to him. She had seen what he did to the people who challenged him. She was not willing to become another example. And then she said something I was not expecting. She said, she told me because she remembered. She remembered primary school, the way we kept each other's secrets back then, the way I was always the person she could say anything to without fear, the way nothing she ever told me went further than me. She never forgot that about me. I held her for a long time after that, and when I finally pulled back and looked at her face, minus her eyes, still wet, her expression carrying the exhaustion of someone who had been fighting alone for too long. This was not going to continue. I did not tell her what I was thinking yet. I just told her it was going to be okay. That she was not alone anymore. That I was here and I was not going anywhere. She looked at me. The way a person looks at someone they are not sure they deserve. And I meant every word. Because what kind of man hears what I heard that day and does nothing? Not this man. Not Gideon.
I went home that evening, carrying something I had never carried before. Not just anger, not just sadness. Something heavier than both combined. I kept seeing her face, the way she broke down, the way she tried so hard not to cry at first, the way she held everything in until she simply could not anymore. She had been suffering in silence, in that beautiful duplex, behind that electric gate, inside that life that looked so perfect from the outside. She had been alone, and nobody knew.
The woman my parents used to ask about, the girl who never made anyone feel less, the person who came from a good family and carried herself with quiet dignity through primary school and beyond. She had been suffering alone. And I was done letting that happen. Part 6 is coming. And I'm ready.